Yes, this is Nnamdi Kanu's case, yes, which is a recurring decimal in our judicial process since 2015, and it will continue to be until the courts do the needful and the government does the needful. This particular one is an originating summons, which was filed on the 7th of April, 2022. And it was before this honorable court, the Honorable Justice Inyan Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Essentially, we are asking for determination of certain questions. Whether the extraordinary rendition by force, after torture, after blindfolding, after being chained, after being put in an isolated, solitary confinement of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, where he had voluntarily entered as a British citizen on the 19th of June 2021, and then forcibly renditioned back to Nigeria on the 27th of June 2021, whether it accords with local and international laws, and whether it accords with Section 15 of the Extradition Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. We are invoking what we call the Doctrine of Specialty also. Our contention is that only extradition proceedings will enable you bring back a citizen from another country to Nigeria, or from Nigeria to another country. Indeed, we give the example of this police officer, Abba Kyari, who, when America wanted him for certain crimes, it was the Attorney General here who said he could not be extradited because a case had already been filed against him here. On the contrary, it is the same Attorney General that masterminded the forcible extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria, without following due process, without following the extradition process. And the Kenyan government, in a suit which we have exhibited, made it clear that they never consented for Nnamdi Kanu to be renditioned back to Nigeria. We have also attached a document which is a foreword written by the Attorney General to a book where he strenuously and stringently condemned forcible extraordinary rendition as being illegal and unconstitutional and against all known norms of local and international laws. We have attached that document. We are also contending that under the doctrine of specialty, when a person is brought back, even if done properly through normal extradition, you can only try him for the offenses for which you are extraditing him, or for lesser offenses, but not for offenses that were going on before he was brought in. And from all evidence before the court, the only charge that was before the court, before the extraordinary rendition, were only 5 counts, and none of them bordered on terrorism at all. It was only after they brought him back like a common criminal, like the way they tried to do to Alhaji Umaru Diko during the time of Buhari, after he overthrew President Shehu Shagari, and the man was drugged and put in a crate before eagle-eyed British police officers discovered him in a crate, drugged, That one was unsuccessful. Even then, some people were convicted for that inhuman and degrading act. So, ironically, it is under the same Buhari, this time as a civilian democratic president, that we are also seeing this happening. So, it was after he was brought back, Nnamdi Kanu was brought back, that they amended the 5-count charge, first to 7-count charge in January last year, and then again to 15 counts. Don't forget that this government that said they were ready to prosecute Nnamdi Kanu, whether for acts of terrorism or non-terrorism, have amended their charge 7 times, 7 open times. One of the reasons I'm going to crusade seriously from now onwards for the amendment of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA. You cannot say a prosecution can continue forever to amend its charges. You are supposed to have investigated the case thoroughly, and you are sure-footed that a person has committed a crime before charging him to court. Why should ACJA give an open-ended permission to the prosecution to continue to amend? At times they even amend to accord with evidence already laid. That is not good for the defendant. That is not a good law. I'm going to crusade for an amendment of that portion of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015. Now, after they now amended to 15, we came to the Federal High Court here before Justice Bintanyako, who struck out 8 of the 15 counts. The remaining 7 counts, we were not satisfied. We took them to the Court of Appeal. That is why I told you that the case is a recurring decimal. We won at the Court of Appeal again. The remaining 7 counts were struck out by the Court of Appeal. More importantly, the Court of Appeal made an order that Nnamdi Kanu was discharged. In other words, having now been discharged of the remaining 7 counts plus the other 8 counts, it means that Nnamdi Kanu became a free man, as free as the air. Not only that, the Court of Appeal made a very, very historic and prodigious pronouncement. They said Nnamdi Kanu should never again be arraigned in any court of law in Nigeria on any of the existing counts which had now been finally dismissed, and that more importantly, he should never again be detained. In other words, from 13th of October 2022, when the Court of Appeal delivered their judgment, Nnamdi Kanu became a free man. But the federal government surprisingly went to the same Court of Appeal before another panel to obtain an order for stay of execution. So we are having a sorry situation, a very, very pathetic situation, where the federal government of Nigeria, a whole federal government of Nigeria, went to court to get an order for stay of execution of the liberty of his own citizen, because that is in effect what the order meant. Compare with America, for example, from where we borrow our presidentialism. America will go to a country, they will go and take out their citizen, even if kept in a cell, a solitary confinement, because they believe in the humanity of their citizens. But here is a federal government dehumanizing its own citizen, committing terrorism against its own citizen. Against its own citizen. That's what the federal government has been doing. Now, they then appeal to the Supreme Court. Since 18th of October 2022, after they appealed, they started stalling. They will make sure the matter did not go on. They will try processing, they will not serve us. Of course, the matter again came up just last week. And the Supreme Court, being very busy with all these time-bound election, petition, and pre-election matters, graciously gave us the 14th of September this year to come and take the main appeal. I believe that God will do the needful. So the case here, therefore, is predicated because we filed this case even before the Court of Appeal judgment. This case was filed 7th of April 2022. The Court of Appeal judgment was 13th of October 2022. All the prayers we are asking for in this particular case have already been answered by the Court of Appeal in its judgment positively in our favor. So it means that by the grace of God, the 50 billion naira damages we are claiming from the federal government for the brutal treatment of Nnamdi Kanu and its extraordinary rendition, and the 100 million naira we are claiming as cost for the suit are good to go by the grace of God. So this case has been adjourned now to the 7th of July for us to have an argument. Sorry? 11th of July. 11th of July. For us to have a bite and possibly have a judgment by the grace of God. So Nnamdi Kanu's case, until the federal government allows Nnamdi Kanu to go, until the federal government frees Nnamdi Kanu, his case will continue to be like a whitlow on your index finger that gives you sleepless night. His case will continue to be like the hunchback. The hunchback person is always carrying a luggage. Whether you are lying down, you are lying on a luggage. If you are lying face down, you are carrying the luggage on your head. It is a matter that will not go away until Nnamdi Kanu is released. I want to refer the federal government to Exodus 8:19 and see what happened to Pharaoh when Moses told him, "Let my people go," continuously, "Let my people go," and Pharaoh will not allow them to go. The littlest of insects, a louse, a gnat, was what the Egyptian magicians hired by Pharaoh could not conjure. And so when the magicians saw what was happening, they went to Pharaoh and said, "This matter is beyond us. This is actually the art of God. So let these people go." But what happened? Pharaoh's ears were deadened or deafened, just as the ears of the federal government appear to have been deafened in this case. And we all saw the consequences for Pharaoh, how they were drowned in the Red Sea that was parted, and how it was covered for the Israelites to pass through. God first opened it for them to pass through, and then converted it to drown the Egyptians. I don't want that to happen to the federal government. So again and again, for the third time in about 10 to 12 days, on bended knees, I beg President Muhammadu Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu today, unconditionally, without any condition attached. Because even the AU, African Union, has said it should release him. Even the United Nations Human Rights Commission has said it should release him since July 2022. Even my 34-page letter to President Buhari, I have begged him to release Nnamdi Kanu. He can do this through, he doesn't have to interfere with the judicial process. If that is what is giving him fears, let me give him the free legal advice. He can do this through the Attorney General of the Federation, who will use Section 174 of the Constitution to enter a nolle prosequi, which is a discontinuance, a termination of the entire phony charges that have been dismissed by both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal. So as I speak to you today, Nnamdi Kanu is being held unconstitutionally, illegally, unconscionably, arbitrarily, by brute force, without any order of court. And it is not good for our democracy or in the eye of the international community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.